Hello! For this video I'm going to be talking about parenting and the different camera types. So to start, click on your camera. As you can see here, it says orthographic. The difference between orthographic and perspective is basically orthographic has no depth. So orthographic is basically for two-dimensional games, whereas perspective is optimized for 3D games. Another key difference is a perspective camera does not zoom. You actually have to change the position, whereas an orthographic camera zooms in and out based on this size value. So if you increase it, it will zoom out. And if you decrease it, it will zoom in. Okay, let's get rid of this circle. Let's make some 3D objects. A sphere. Make sure it's at 0, 0, 0. And let's make a cube. Okay, let's put it to the side a bit here. Put in a light so we can see shading effects. And let's turn it to 3D view. So let's move this cube forward a bit. As you can see in the game view, it doesn't change at all. This is because orthographic cameras do not have depth. Now let's switch it to a perspective camera. There. As you can see, the cube is much closer to the camera. Now I want to teach you a bit about parenting. Let's parent the sphere to this cube. Okay, now the sphere is called a child of the cube, and it is indicated by this arrow here. Okay, so if you move the parent around, the child will move with it. Now let's rotate it. If you rotate the parent around, the child will rotate with the parent as sort of a fulcrum. The child will also share any scale transforms. As you can see, the circle has grown. One other handy use of parenting, let's just unparent them for now. Say you had multiple objects and you wanted to delete them all at the same time, or deactivate them. What you can do is create an empty object. Let's just call it container. And take all of those objects, drag it, parent it to the container, and then if you click this little checkbox here, this deactivates the object. It will deactivate them all at once. Likewise, if you destroy this container, it will destroy all the children as well. So it can be very useful if you want to have a big selection of objects you want to being deleted all at the same time. You can just parent them to one container. For example, if you had like a time limit to collect all the coins, you can have it so when that time limit is up, the coins deactivate all at once. And when the timer is activated again, the coins all appear. One last thing I wanted to mention about parenting is this button right here, local. This basically makes it so, okay, let's unparent these objects now. Let's parent them all to the cube. Okay, now let's rotate it. As I mentioned before, it will act as sort of a fulcrum. The parent being the center, and it will rotate as if it's an axis. Okay, and so let's put it at 45 degrees here on the z-axis. Now when you select it, the axes will point in a global direction. So no matter where it is, no matter what rotation it has, these will always point in the Z direction, the X direction, and the Y direction. However, you can click on this button here where it says global. It will aim the arrows in the direction relative to the parent rather than to the world. So that's what this means. And this is good for visualizing local movements through code. Say this is your player here, and you want to shoot a gun. You always want the gun to go in the same direction, so you want it to move in a local direction on the x-axis, so that it will shoot outwards no matter what direction it is facing. This is a good way of visualizing that. You can even parent the camera to your player object. And then wherever the object moves, the camera will also stay centered on, as you can see above here. This is good if you want the camera to follow your player object in a basic way. This works for now, but in a later video we will be talking about how to make the camera follow the player object in a more smooth way. Okay, so that's everything for this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.